Today we're going to do a fish room update. My last video of the fish room did a full tour of each aquarium. And I do want to thank everyone for the overwhelming support. That was my first video ever on YouTube, and the number of views and the comments have been overwhelmingly positive, so thank you guys so much. So in this update, we're going to focus on this rack. In the last video, I didn't really have this rack set up, so now I got some tanks filled up and set up. So let's get started. We'll start with the top left tank. We've got some Salvinia up top that's making the water look kind of green, which I think is kind of cool. Some Java moss in here. The fish in here are my two favorite fish in the fish room. It's a batch of the 24 karat gold guppies and the orange Medaka rice fish. Originally I just had the orange Medaka rice fish in here, but I had a drop that I wasn't expecting of the 24 karat gold guppies. And with that strain, if you don't pull the fry, they're gonna get eaten. So I threw them both in here and they've grown up together pretty well. Next tank over, I've got guppies I got from Tamed Waters. These are the Super Dumbo dragon guppies. Right there is my original male. Unfortunately, I lost both females from the trio, but they both did drop right before. They died within 2 weeks of me getting them, unfortunately, but the babies grew up in my tap water, so they're doing great. This male's doing great. We've got some water sprite in the back with some lava rock. Next tank over, we've got the gardener-eyed killifish. I have both the standard and the gold version in here. Just because they're not breeding right now, they can live together just fine. I started out with a pair of the standard gardener eye, and these are some of the fry that I kept grown up. I still have my original trio of the golds, which I'm currently working on spawning in the near future. And I do have this guy that kind of looks like, let's see if it'll focus on him. Kind of looks like a cross between the two. He was not spawned in this tank. He is a spawn from the gardener eyes, the standard, but he looks a little different. Looks kind of cool, so I kept him. Plants in here, it's the dwarf sage is up front carpeting, and the plant doing not so well in the back is moneywort or bacopa. I am regularly fertilizing this tank, and they're also sitting in eco-complete, so they can pull some nutrients from the roots, even though I know they like to feed from the water column. So we'll see if that bounces back or starts off. In this next tank, I have a bunch of celestial pearl Danios that I bred, along with some cull male guppies that I didn't have another spot for, the Santa Claus guppies and the Japan blue double sword. I didn't really like the swords on those guys, so just chose to move them to another tank out of my breeding tank. I also have a pair of clown killifish, you can see up top, as well as some random fry of the longfin white clouds that were accidentally spawned, had nowhere to put them. Currently fighting a little bit of ick in this tank. This tank is on the top row, and it's summer now, so my fish room runs a little bit warmer. I think it started with the white clouds, which I know don't like to get too hot, and it kind of spread from there. Doing well, I'm on a week of treatment and it's almost gone, but still treating. What I really like about this tank is the way that the Rotala species has grown and kind of covering the top, kind of giving it like a dark look along with the driftwood. It kind of looks like it has tannins, even though it doesn't. This Rotala, I'm not sure which species it is. I got it at a club auction. This next tank has my orange Medaka rice fish. Can usually tell what fish are my favorite by how well maintained and how nicely scaped the tank is. We've got some pearlweed in the back. This is a dwarf chainsword and some manzanita driftwood, as well as some frogbit up top. I've been working on breeding a lot of these guys. unlike a lot of people, I'm breeding them indoors, so I'm viewing them from the side versus up top most of the time. The trait I'm selecting for is, you can see it in this guy in the middle here, the dark orange fins. Camera's not picking it up too much, but you can kind of see compared to the other fish, he's got much darker fins. Something that would probably be overlooked if you were breeding them outside or top-down view only. So looking for those dark fins, as well as obviously the dark orange or very vibrant orange bodies, trying to improve them with each generation. This next tank is just quarantine. The fish that were in here got moved into their permanent tank, and I'm expecting some new fish, so it's open for them. In this tank I have a bunch of angelfish fry. It's one batch from my super red koi angelfish and one batch from my Philippine blue angelfish. I have a video coming out on that journey, but they both bred at the same time, and to save on tank space I put both batches in together. I think those would be easy to tell apart, so that's why I thought it would be okay. So far we're not having any issues at all. They're eating live baby brine. Got some snails to clean up after them and some frog bit to help suck up any nitrates that might build up. And right below there, we've got a fish that I've been looking for and waiting for probably over a year. These are the red ear albino koi guppies. I remember seeing these about a year ago, and they were $150 a pair at the time, because I don't believe anyone else had them. These guys, the females, have the nice red pectoral fins, and so do the males. Males have a nice orange body. I usually don't like any albinos, but these are just, in my opinion, very beautiful, and I was lucky enough to be on eBay at the right time. I found a seller who imported a bunch in and was able to sell trios cheaper than $150 a pair, so I pulled the trigger on them. We've got some random crypt in the front, pearlweed, some dragonstone, some pogostemon stellatus octopus, and more frog bit. These guys have acclimated pretty well to my water. Thankfully, I was a little nervous. Heard a lot about albino strains being a little bit more sensitive than others, so I'm really happy that they all kind of made it through their quarantine, and somewhere in here are some babies that managed not to get eaten. This next tank is empty right now. It's a 40-gallon breeder. I have a video coming out how I escaped this tank and how I set it up. I'm waiting for a specific fish from Select Aquatics. As soon as this quarantine ends and he has those fish available, they'll be going in here. This tank is set up for the reticulated hillstream loach, mostly. We've got these 3 to 5 inch rocks in here. Let's see if we can spot any. Oh, I see one right over here. I'm hoping that they'll breed in here. I have 4 right now. I'm waiting to order some more. And I also have the Wapoga red laser rainbow fish in here. These guys bred for me in here. I threw a mop in here and got some eggs. So I'm glad that at least something's breeding in here, and I have some Nemo koi beta fish in here that I plan on breeding with the female that I have. Got some manzanita driftwood, some pogostemon helferi up front. That's a Madagascar lace plant. And some regular baby tears in the back that I'm hoping will grow tall. You can see the beginning. This was shipped in to me, so it's very rough looking at the bottom, but now you can see the new growth coming in. So I'm hoping that grows nice and tall and fills the back up. Tank below it is empty right now, waiting to escape it so I can move some new fish in there. And in the tank over, We've got a pair of Philippine blue angelfish, the parents of the fry that we saw before. Really nice looking pair. This tank we have the red tail Dumbo ear guppies. I ended up moving them here on the bottom because I really like to look at them the top down view. These guys really have been breeding really well in this tank. We've got the carpet of door sedge and the plant in the back. I purchased Willow Hygro and they sent me that, so I don't really know what this plant is. If anybody does, let me know in the comments. And in the next tank, we can get them on camera. We've got a spawn of the Bozeman rainbow fish, the ones I have that are the Gary Lang strain. Just got some frog bit in here, the original spawning mop that I just threw in this empty 20-gallon. Got a ton of fry. They're eating baby brine now, so it's a little bit easier to take care of them. And in this last tank here is some more Medaka rice fish. These are ones that I spawned. I've shipped out a bunch of them and still have plenty in this tank, which is great because for some reason they're really hard to get hold of. Probably have 100 in here. So that was an update on the new rack. A lot of changes to come in the fish room, more breeding videos, new fish coming in. I really do appreciate everybody watching my videos. I didn't expect to have this many people watch it, so I'm really appreciative. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next video.